Hey guys, it's Rhett from the 100 Acre Wood Highlands. Right now we have 11 chickens and we get about 7 or 8 eggs a day or so. When I'm out feeding the cows, I've never found a cow egg out in the pasture, but I did purchase a few Highland embryos just recently, and I'm excited to share with you what we're trying to accomplish, what our goals are, what I've learned a little bit about the embryo transfer, and just kind of share this journey with you. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram by searching for 100 Acre Wood Highlands. Let's check it out. Well, it's a bit of a foggy, misty, cool morning here on the ranch, and I'm just feeding my heifers a little grain. I'm gonna go run get some hay here in a minute for the rest of the cows that I've ran out. Got to go buy a little bit more, but I've shared with you guys in the past that one of my goals here with our operation is to grow our registered fold. So right now we have 18 Highlands. We have 3 registered heifers with the American Highland Cattle Association and 1 registered bull calf, and the other cows are all unregistered. And when I first got into Highlands, I bought all unregistered animals because it really didn't matter to me what I was, I just wanted something that looked like a Highland. But I've kind of decided that I want to get a few more of the registered ones. And I'm going to keep my unregistered cows because they're good, healthy cows. They have calves every year. I like them. I don't want to get rid of them. I just want to grow more on my registered side. Well, my heifers here, Emporia, Pepper, and Moose, they really won't be old enough to breed and have calves of their own until they're about 2 years old. So some other breeds, you'll have them bred at maybe 1.5 years or some other age like that. But with Highlands, they're such a slow growing breed that you've got to wait till their body size is the right size before you want to have them bred. So a lot of people wait till about that 2-year mark. So we got a little ways before they can be bred, and when we do breed them, we'll probably use artificial insemination and breed them to 3 separate low weight bulls, and that way we'll kind of even further diversify our genetics here on the farm. And then going forward, our new bull Momentous is registered, and we could use him. So I want to get some more registered stock, and it's been difficult to find registered stock in my area, kind of central Oklahoma. The few that I've seen, we're asking thousands of dollars for just a registered cow. And at Highland auctions, the prices go even higher. And there are sometimes really good reasons to pay a ton of money for a registered animal, but I'm not really interested in spending $6,000 or $7,000 for a 6 or 7 month old Highland if I can keep from it. So something that I'm going to experiment and try is Embryo Transfer. So we recently just purchased 3 Highland embryos, and they are frozen right now, and they can kind of be stored indefinitely until we are ready. But I've been doing some research, doing some reading into this, and something that I've discovered is with these embryos, we can have them implanted into our unregistered stock and have those cows carry registered Highland calves. And so don't necessarily take this as a how-to video, because this is, like I said, an experiment. This is the first time that we're going to be attempting this. But I think there's some definite advantages to trying this. There's certainly some disadvantages I'm going to share. But I think it could help further our goals, and it might be a possibility for some of you guys too. And I love learning new stuff about Highlands and about cows in general, better ways to do things, other ways to do things, and I like being able to share them with you guys. So this is our new experiment. So there's some advantages and disadvantages of doing this embryo transfer. The basic process is you start out with a donor cow. In this case, our donor cow is FSH Shaker. She's a registered Highland, and she has been artificially bred to 2 different bulls. We purchased 2 that were fertilized by Black Watch Elvis and 1 that was fertilized by Constellation of Swain. So one of the advantages is genetic diversity. We're going to be able to get heifers born potentially of 2 different bulls here on the farm. And the way the process works is the cow is bred artificially, and then 6 days or so later, those embryos are flushed out of the cow and frozen. Now, I didn't know a lot about how this process worked at first, but basically it is a non-surgical procedure where those eggs are, or embryos are removed from the cow, and they're 6 days old at that time. And technology is so amazing that they can look at these embryos and sex sort them between what should be a heifer embryo and what should be a bull embryo. I think there's only like a 90% accuracy on those, but we have purchased 3 that should result in heifers. So it's just amazing that technology can do that, and they will be frozen until we're ready to then have a vet insert those into our surrogate cow. In our case, the surrogate cows are going to be some of our unregistered, 4-year-old Highlands. We'll probably use, Penny or Rosie or, some of those that have had calves before, that have never had any issues birthing, that are healthy cows. And we're going to use those to be the surrogate moms that carry these Highland embryos. And when the Highland calf is born, it will be a registered animal, even though an unregistered animal carried that embryo. So this is going to be one way that we can potentially further our genetic diversity here on the farm, increase our registered numbers, and also it is less expensive than us trying to buy registered Highlands that are of good quality and ship them from wherever in the country they are. So there's a Highland auction coming up in March from one of the associations, and I've been looking at that site, and there's all kinds of heifers I'd love to bid on. But I don't really want to spend $6,000 or $7,000 on an animal and have to pay $2,000 to ship it from Minnesota and Wisconsin and all over the place to get it down here to Oklahoma. And I really don't want to drive 2 days to go get the animal either if I can keep from it. So Highland prices can be all over the place. And to get a good one at an auction, you're going to spend a lot of money. One of the advantages of that is you're getting the animal that's, weaning age. You know what it looks like. You know that it's alive and it's healthy. With these embryos, we potentially only have a 50 or 60% success rate that it will actually take. And it will be 2 years from the time it's born before it could be bred. So a little longer drawn out process. There's a chance that we may get no Highland heifers born out of this. But there's also a chance we could get, 2, or maybe if we were really lucky, 3. My hope is that I will get 1 or 2 heifers born. So one of the disadvantages, besides the potentially only 50-50 success rate, is these embryos are not cheap. They're not near as expensive as what you might pay for a Highland at an auction that's 6 or 8 months old. But they're not so cheap that you'd go out and buy a few dozen embryos, at least not in my case. We're starting out with 3. We're going to give this a shot, and if things go well, we may try to do it in the future. And so I'll be bringing you guys along for that. We probably won't be able to use these embryos until the fall. So right now, all of my unregistered stock are bred, and they're probably going to start having their calves in about another 2 or 3 months. And after that calf is born, we need to wait a little period of time before we have those embryos implanted in these cows. So from talking to my vet and talking to some others, what they've kind of suggested as best practices is, number one, you want to have a cow that is not really had any issues birthing, that's healthy, and you want to give them a little bit of a rest time between when they've had a calf and when we implant these embryos. So my vet suggested wait 3 or 4 months after she's had a calf, and then once she goes into heat, which they said there's things you can do to kind of monitor that. There's like these heat patches that you can be able to tell easily when they do go into heat. But once they go into heat, you want to get those embryos transplanted into them within about 6 to 7 days. And the reason is that you want that embryo put in there 6 days after they go into heat, because those embryos are frozen at 6 to 7 days old, and they want that process to synchronize as closely as possible, and that gives a better success rate. Then about a month after it's put in there, we'll be able to take the cows back to the vet, and they will check to see if it is taken. So really excited about the opportunity to have some new registered Highland heifers be born out of our unregistered stock. So I'm real excited about this this new experiment we're trying. I love learning new things about these cows, better ways to do things, better practices, and I like sharing them with you guys. If you haven't already, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram by searching 100 Acrewood Highlands, and our website is now live at 100 Acrewood Highlands, where we've got t-shirts, hats. You can read more about our farm and our fold, and just go check it out. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you on the next video.